All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning, I'm Sunil Verma and with me is Subhadra Ramachandran. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says India will be a reliable partner for Russia in realizing the vision for Russian Far East. Says India and Russia will partner to construct some most important commercial ships in the world. Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan asks central universities to fill up 6,000 vacant posts by October this year. Government launches Ayush Aapke Dwar campaign from more than 45 locations across the country. Arunachal Pradesh government launches 2 schemes for development of agriculture and horticulture in the state. CBI arrests 7 persons in connection with irregularities in JEE main examinations 2021. India and UAE stress on the importance of international community standing together against terrorists and extremist forces. Yoshihide Suga to step down as Japanese Prime Minister over his government's handling of COVID-19. Taliban likely to form government in Afghanistan today, and Pramod Bhagat enters final of badminton men's singles event at Tokyo Paralympics. As the nationwide free COVID-19 vaccination campaign at government facilities for those above 18 years is going on, we advise our young listeners to get vaccinated and also help others get vaccinated. We also advise our listeners not to lower their guard as COVID-19 remains a threat to our health. Please stay at home unless it is essential to go out and continue to follow these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, and focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011-2397-8046 and 1075. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that the India-Russia energy partnership can help bring stability to the global energy market. Addressing the plenary session of the Eastern Economic Forum yesterday, the Prime Minister applauded President Putin's vision for development of the Russian Far East.
I applaud President Putin's vision for the development of the Russian Far East. India will be a reliable partner for Russia in realizing this vision. In 2019, when I had visited Vladivostok to attend the forum, I had announced India's commitment to an Act Far East policy. This policy is an important part of our special and privileged strategic partnership with Russia.
The Prime Minister said India and Russia are partners in space exploration through the Gaganyaan program. The Prime Minister added, India and Russia have been working jointly in many energy projects. The Prime Minister highlighted that India's shipyards, Mazagon Docks Limited, will partner with Zvezda for the construction of some of the most important commercial ships in the world.
I am delighted that one of India's biggest shipyards, Mazagon Docks Limited, will partner with Zvezda for construction of some of the most important commercial ships in the world. India and Russia are partners in space exploration through the Gaganyaan program. India and Russia will also be partners in opening up the Northern Sea route for international trade and commerce.
Saying that Vladivostok is truly a sangam of Eurasia and the Pacific, Prime Minister Modi said, in the history of Indian civilization, sangam has a special meaning. India and UAE have agreed that there is no place for terrorism and extremism in the world. In a telephonic conversation between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi, Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan yesterday, both the leaders stressed the importance of international community standing together against terrorist and extremist forces. The 2 leaders also positively assessed the continued progress in bilateral cooperation in various areas under the India-UAE Comprehensive Strategic Partnership. Prime Minister Modi appreciated UAE's support for the Indian community during the ongoing pandemic. He also conveyed best wishes for the expo to be held in Dubai from the 1st of next month. Both leaders also discussed regional issues of common concern.
External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar met with the Prime Minister of Croatia, Andrej Plenković, during his visit to Croatia. He also talked with Croatia's Foreign Minister, Gordon Grlić Radman. Both the countries had detailed exchanges on bilateral cooperation, regional and global issues, including the situation in Afghanistan. Dr. Jaishankar said it was very apparent in our discussion on Indo-Pacific and Afghanistan of our resolve how to counter terrorism in all its forms and manifestations. He conveyed the greetings of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and also wished for the 30th anniversary of Croatia's independence. On the bilateral cooperation front, the Foreign Minister said there are lots of opportunities in the pharmaceutical, digital, infrastructure, railways, defence, tourism sector for both the countries. He said Indian companies have found Croatia a very good platform to operate and invest. Dr. S. Jaishankar is on a 4-day visit to Slovenia, Croatia and Denmark. Foreign Secretary Harsh Vardhan Shringla met U.S. Principal Deputy NSA John Feiner. In a series of tweets, External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Arindam Bagchi said the Foreign Secretary had a very useful exchange with John Feiner on further consolidating India-U.S. strategic partnership. They reviewed regional developments, including the situation in Afghanistan and Indo-Pacific region. The spokesperson said Foreign Secretary also interacted with leading U.S. companies under the aegis of U.S.-India Business Council USIBC on India's economic recovery and steps taken by the government to facilitate ease of doing business. Foreign Secretary Shringla appreciated proactive efforts of USIBC and Global Task Force for supporting India's COVID response and advancing the India-US business partnership.
Yoshihide Suga will step down as Japanese Prime Minister amidst increasing anger over his government's handling of COVID-19. Yoshihide Suga announced yesterday that he would not seek re-election in this month's leadership race for the ruling Liberal Democratic Party. The winner of that contest will lead the party in a general election that must be held by November the 30th. Suga became Prime Minister just 1 year ago after long-serving Prime Minister Shinzo Abe stepped down over health concerns. He said during a party meeting that he wanted to focus on the coronavirus pandemic instead of continuing on as the head of the LDP. Taliban is likely to form a government in Afghanistan today. According to Taliban sources, new government will be headed by the group's co-founder, Mullah Abdul Ghani Baradar. Mullah Muhammad Yaqub, the son of late Taliban chief Mullah Muhammad Omar, and Sher Muhammad Abbas Standigzai are the two other senior Taliban leaders to be appointed to senior positions. Mullah Haibatullah Akhundzada, the Taliban chief, will focus on religious matters and governance within the framework of Islam. Protests were held by groups of Afghan women and civil society activists in Kabul, calling for their inclusion in the future government. Taliban has already stated that women will be allowed to work in government institutions, but not in higher-ranking positions. Protesters urged Taliban and the international community to protect the political, social and economic rights of women that they have achieved in the last 2 decades.
Hours after the Taliban claimed that Amrullah Saleh has fled Afghanistan, the acting president of the country released an audio message clarifying he is very much in Panjshir. Amrullah Saleh called the reports of him fleeing Afghanistan absolutely baseless. Saleh said he is at his base in the Panjshir Valley with his commanders and political leaders. Saleh said the resistance forces have held their ground and not lost any territory in Panjshir. He said over the past 4 or 5 days, Taliban have launched its offensive in the valley that has made no significant gains so far. The acting president also claimed that the Pakistani army is in cahoots with the Taliban and aiding it in the invasion of Afghanistan. Back home, India's COVID-19 vaccination coverage has crossed 67 crore 65 lakh. Union Health Ministry said around 52 crore vaccine doses have been administered as first dose and over 15 crore vaccine doses given as second doses so far. The new phase of universalization of COVID-19 vaccination commenced from 21st of June this year. The ministry said more than 51,88,000 vaccine doses were administered yesterday. It said the vaccination exercise as a tool to protect the most vulnerable population groups in the country from COVID-19 continues to be regularly reviewed and monitored at the highest level.
The Central Bureau of Investigation, CBI, has arrested 7 persons in an ongoing investigation of a case related to allegations of committing irregularities in the ongoing JEE Main Examination 2021. The arrested people include 2 directors and 4 employees of a private company and a private person. It was alleged that the company and its directors were manipulating the online examination of JEE Mains. They were facilitating aspiring students to get admission in top NITs in consideration of huge amounts by solving the question paper of the applicant through remote access from a chosen examination centre in Sonipat, Haryana. It was also alleged that the accused used to obtain 10th and 12th mark sheets and post-dated checks of aspiring students as security, and once admission was done, they used to collect heavy amount ranging from 12 to 15 lakh rupees per candidate.
You are listening to the morning news in All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says India will be a reliable partner for Russia in realizing the vision for Russia Far East. Says India and Russia will partner to construct some most important commercial ships in the world. Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan asked central universities to fill up 6,000 vacant posts by October this year. Government launches Ayush Aapke Dwar campaign from more than 45 locations across the country. Arunachal Pradesh government launches 2 schemes for development of agriculture and horticulture in the state. CBI arrests 7 persons in connection with irregularities in JEE Main Examinations 2021. India and UAE stress on the importance of international community standing together against terrorist and extremist forces. Yoshihide Suga to step down as Japanese Prime Minister over his government's handling of COVID-19. Taliban likely to form government in Afghanistan today, and Pramod Bhagat enters final of badminton men's singles event at Tokyo Paralympics. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
Azadi Ka Safar every day with All India Radio from Monday the 16th of August. As part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, News Services Division of All India Radio brings to you the story of glorious struggle and sacrifices of freedom fighters on 100.1 FM Gold channel in the English news bulletins at 8:30 a.m., 2 p.m. and 8:30 p.m. Stay tuned.
Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan has asked central universities to work on mission mode to fill up the 6,000 vacant posts by October this year. The Education Minister held a virtual meeting with Vice Chancellors of central universities yesterday. He urged them to create a framework for alumni endowment. The Minister said that the universities are cradles of creativity, innovation and opportunities. He added, the new education policy will play a crucial role in placing India at the top of the emerging New World Order. He stressed on making education a lot more vibrant and holistic and establishing India as a knowledge superpower through new education policy. During the meeting, the Vice Chancellors were also requested to encourage sports in their universities. Ayush Ministry has launched the campaign Ayush Aapke Dwar from more than 45 locations across the country. The campaign aims to distribute medicinal plant saplings to 75 lakh households in 1 year. The medicinal plants include Tej Patta, Stevia, Ashoka, Giloy, Ashwagandha, lemongrass, Tulsi, Sarpagandha and Amla. Minister of State for Ayush, Dr. Mahendra Munjapara, launched the campaign from Ayush Bhavan in New Delhi by distributing medicinal plants to staff. On the occasion, Dr. Munjapara appealed to adopt medicinal plants and take care of these as a part of their family. Union Minister Sarbananda Sonowal launched Ayush Aapke Dwar campaign from Mumbai. We have a report.
As a part of national campaign, Union Minister Sarbananda Sonowal launched Ayush Aapke Dwar campaign from Mumbai yesterday by distributing medicinal plant saplings to the citizens. The National Medicinal Plant Board and Central Council for Research in Ayurvedic Science Ministry of Ayush distributed medicinal saplings and Ayurvedic medicines to the public. Mr. Sonowal also visited Mumbai Port Trust and reviewed various projects undertaken by it. The state-of-the-art structure is being built by Mumbai Port Trust with 50% funding under Sagarmala. It is expected to be completed by December 2021. Mr. Sonowal also witnessed a special program organized by Mumbai Port Trust as part of the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav celebrations. Bhavna Gokhale, AIR News, Mumbai.
Science and Technology Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh has said that India has the potential to become a global hub of green hydrogen in the near future. Speaking at the International Climate Summit 2021 in the national capital, Dr. Singh said, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has accorded highest priority to clean and green energy. He said with the rapid introduction of biofuels, renewable energy and green hydrogen, India is well poised to take a leadership role towards carbon neutrality. Arunachal Pradesh government has launched two ambitious schemes, one in agriculture sector called Atmanirbhar Krishi Yojana and the other for horticulture named Atmanirbhar Bhagwani Yojana. The schemes are part of the Atmanirbhar program announced during the budget session held in February this year. A total amount of 120 crore rupees, 60 crore rupees for each scheme has been allocated to the two concerned departments of agriculture and horticulture. After launching the schemes in Itanagar, Chief Minister Pema Khandu said that both the schemes will immensely benefit farmers and self-help groups across the state. He appealed everyone to get in touch with their respective district administrations to get the details and avail the schemes.
Researchers at the Indian Institute of Science and the Indian Space Research Organization in Bengaluru have jointly developed a modular, self-contained device to cultivate microorganisms which could enable scientists to carry out biological experiments in outer space. The research study has been published in Acta Astronautica. The device developed can be used to activate and track the growth of a bacterium called Sporosarcina pasteurii over several days with minimal human involvement. The device developed by the IISc and ISRO team uses an LED and photodiode sensor combination to track bacterial growth by measuring the optical density or scattering of light, similar to spectrophotometer used in the lab. Hansa New Generation Trainer Aircraft, designed and developed by CSIR NAL in Bengaluru, has successfully made its maiden flight yesterday. The aircraft took off from HAL Airport in the city and flew at an altitude of 4,000 feet. It gained a speed of 80 knots before making a successful landing after about 20 minutes. More from our correspondent.
In a significant step, the National Aerospace Laboratories has designed and developed a two-seater trainer aircraft, the Hansa New Generation Trainer, successfully. The test pilot, Captain Amit Dahiya, who flew the plane, has said that the flight parameters were found normal and that it was a textbook flight. Hansa NG aircraft, developed indigenously, has glass cockpit with cabin comfort, highly efficient digitally controlled engine, electrically operated flaps, long endurance, low acquisition and low operating cost. National Aerospace Laboratories has already received 72 letters of intent from various flying clubs to purchase the Made in India aircraft. The aircraft will be certified within the next 4 months before being inducted into service. Sudhindra, AIR News, Bengaluru.
As our nation celebrates the 75th year of independence, a series of events is being organized by the government as a part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Let's listen now to our program, Azadi Ka Safar.
आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव।
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a Nation. India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest movements the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the struggle every day.
In today's episode, we salute the globally renowned Indian nationalist and critic of British economic policy in India, Dadabhai Naoroji, who was born on this day in 1825 in the then Bombay. He was fondly known as the Grand Old Man of India and also the unofficial ambassador of India, a Liberal Party member of Parliament in the United Kingdom, House of Commons between 1892 and 1895, and the first Asian to be a British MP. He was widely known for his unfavorable opinion about the economic consequences of British rule in India. He set forth his views about the situation in India over the course of the history of the governance of the country and the way in which the colonial rulers rule.
Let us listen to an excerpt from the rendition of Dadabhai Naoroji's speech on the issue of taxation in India in the House of Commons of the United Kingdom in 1893.
Never has there been a single farthing spent out of the British Exchequer, either for the acquirement of India or for the maintenance of it, or administration, or in any manner connected with India, whilst at the same time hundreds of millions of the wealth of India have been constantly poured into this country. Whether any country in the world could stand such drain as India is subjected to is utterly out of the question. If England itself, with all its wealth, was subjected to such a drain as India is subjected to, it would be reduced to extreme poverty before long.
He was appointed a member of the Royal Commission on Indian Expenditure in 1895. In 1886, 1893 and 1906, he presided over the annual sessions of the Indian National Congress. Dadabhai Naoroji is regarded as one of the most important Indians during the birth of the nascent independence movement. Naoroji was a mentor to Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Gopal Krishna Gokhale and Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi.
Today we also celebrate the birth anniversary of another great freedom fighter and scholar of considerable accomplishment, Bhupendranath Datta, who was born on this day in 1880 in the then Calcutta. Brother of Swami Vivekanand, Datta's religious and social beliefs were shaped by Brahmo Samaj, which included belief in a casteless society, in a single god, and revolts against superstition. A patriot from his youth, Datta joined Bengal Revolutionary Society, formed by Pramatanath Mitra in 1902 to fight against the British rule. In 1906, he became the editor of the newspaper Jugantar Patrika, which was the mouthpiece of the Revolutionary Party of Bengal. In 1907, he was arrested by British police with the charge of sedition. Within days of his release from prison in July 1908, Bhupendranath was sent to America to continue his education. Datta joined Ghadar Party in California during World War I. He went to Germany and started revolutionary and political activities there. In 1916, he became the secretary of Indian Independence Committee in Berlin. In 1921, Datta went to Moscow and afterwards returned to India. Bhupendranath worked tirelessly to get the working class their due recognition. Datta was a writer too and wrote several books on Indian culture and society, including one on his elder brother named Swami Vivekanand, Patriot Prophet.
Also remember freedom fighter and Haryana Kesari Pandit Neki Ram Sharma, who fought against the British throughout his life. He was inspired by the likes of Gopal Krishna Gokhale, Lokmanya Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Punjab Kesari Lala Lajpat Rai and Mahamana Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya. When Lokmanya Tilak was sentenced to 6 years of rigorous imprisonment, Neki Ram vowed not to sit peacefully until the British rule was over. Initially enamored by extremism, Neki Ram turned to Satyagraha. He first met Mahatma Gandhi during the 1915 Mumbai Congress. He joined the campaign against untouchability under the inspiration of Gandhiji. Pandit Neki Ram Sharma was in the leading role in Anti-Rowlatt Act movement 1919, Non-Cooperation Movement, Salt Satyagraha and Quit India movement. May we continue to get inspired by such great souls.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
On to sports news now. In Tokyo Paralympics, shuttler Pramod Bhagat has made history by entering the badminton men's singles final. Pramod reached the final after defeating Daisuke Fujihara of Japan 21-11, 21-16 in straight sets of the men's singles semi-final. Daisuke had taken a 2-point lead, but it was for a short period of time as Bhagat came back to seal the first game 21-11. In the second game, Bhagat again dominated the proceedings to win the second set in just 21 minutes. The final match will be held at 3 p.m. today.
In cricket, India will resume its second innings on day 3 against England in the 4th test at the Ovals today. Rohit Sharma and KL Rahul took India to 43 for no loss at stumps as the visitors are still trailing by 56 runs. India finished the day with Rohit unbeaten on 20 and KL Rahul not out on 22. Earlier, England posted a total of 290 in the first innings and took a 99 runs lead against India. On day 2, England recovered very well after it lost 5 wickets for just 62 runs.